Hey, it's your girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday. So, I wanted to talk about the wrongful death lawsuit of Botham Jean. If you guys are unaware of who that individual is, he was the individual that was unalived by Amber Geiger. She was a former Dallas police officer here in Dallas, and she was actually found convicted of unaliving in his apartment. So, long story short, she claims she got off of a long shift. She went home, unlocked the door, or tried to unlock the door, went in, and unalived a man because she thought that he was in her apartment. We have protests out here in Dallas. We've done a few things behind the scenes and have made some great progress. So I am happy that the family, um, they can't ever bring him back, but it does give them, now they can start the healing process. There's no amount of money that can actually make them feel whole again, but at least justice was served. So this incident happened in September of 2018. And so she was actually up for parole and straight got denied. She got denied. Um, I don't see how that can be a mistake. If your keys didn't work and you just proceeded into the apartment, and everybody, if you've been there long enough, you should know in the dark, where the light switch is, where to walk, so on and so forth. So it is crazy, but she was denied parole, but that's not why we're here to talk about. We're actually here to talk about the wrongful death lawsuit that was filed on behalf of his family. And let's get right on into it. So I'm going to start off with the article because the article does break down exactly what happened. Let's see. There we go. So it says former DPD Dallas Police Department officer Amber Geiger hit with the nearly 100 million judgment in wrongful death lawsuit. And that's his dad. That's his dad. All right, so a federal jury awarded $98,650,000 in damages to the family and estate of Botham Jean, who was unalived by former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger in his apartment in 2018. Jurors found that Geiger used excessive force in pow-powing and unaliving John, a 26-year-old accountant and Geiger's upstairs neighbor, when Geiger said she mistakenly went into his apartment and mistook him for a intruder. The jury also found that Geiger was acting in her capacity as an officer when she when she pow-powed John and violated his constitutional rights by unreasonably using deadly force. The jury awarded X amount of dollars to John's estate for his pain, loss of life and earnings, dollars for his mother's loss, dollars for his father's loss, and also funds in punitive damages against Miss Amber Geiger. Over the course of a 3-day trial, the jury heard testimony from experts to bolster the plaintiff's case that Geiger was unreasonable in her use of force. Geiger was convicted of unaliving in 2019 and is currently serving her 10-year sentence at the state prison in Gatesville. She has no attorney in the case, and she has waived her right to be present at trial. Plaintiff's attorney Daryl Washington, shout out to Daryl, called it an insult for Geiger to choose not to be present. Geiger said, "I thought it was my apartment 19 times during the 911 call, but what she didn't say was that Jean or John had a pow pow or was charging at her. So y'all can picture this in y'all head. So she's like, I thought this was an apartment, but never once did she said, oh, he tried to attack me, or whatever defensive mechanism he was trying to use, or she didn't say any of that. Okay, this is what she told jurors. And if you was actually tuning in during that time, she was on the stand crying and doing all of that. Reading on, it says he said Geiger changed her story after she got an attorney. She testified at the criminal trial that John charged at her when she entered his apartment, and she ordered him to put his hands up before pow powing. Geiger and another Dallas police officer testified that the Dallas Police Department's general order states that officers are always on the job, which attorneys said showed that Geiger was acting in her professional capacity when she pow powed John. And according to testimony from crime scene expert Michael Maloney, John likely did not pose a threat to Geiger in the way she described. Based on the scene and his autopsy, John was likely getting up from his couch when he got pow powed. Botham did nothing that would have justified Amber's use of force, Washington said. John was a Harding University graduate born in St. Lucia. He worked as an accountant for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and his pastor, Sammy Berry, testified that John had hopes of becoming a partner at the firm. John's family remembered him as a dedicated to his faith, full of joy and love for others. So I am very excited about this win. I am very excited. So I want to pull up this. This is the verdict of the jury in regards to the breakdown of the amount that he was awarded, or the family. So question one, excessive force. Do you find by a preponderance of evidence that the defendant Amber Geiger used excessive force against Botham Jean on September 6, 2018? Yes. Mm-hmm. Question two, under color of law. Did the plaintiffs prove by a preponderance of evidence that defendant Amber Geiger acted under color of law when she pow powed Botham Jean on September 6, 2018? And look, yes, okay. She was in the scope of her employment. She was under the scope of her employment when she did this. Question three, compensatory damages. What sum of money, if any, would compensate plaintiffs for injuries they suffered as a result of defendant's conduct? Claims of estate of Botham Jean. Mental anguish experienced by Botham Jean between the time he was pow powed and his unaliving. $2 million. Loss of net future earnings by Botham Jean. $5.5 million. Loss of Botham Jean's capacity to enjoy life. $2,750,000. How do they come up with this? What they do is they will get experts, like vocational experts, and they will request things like your resume, your tax returns, a whole bunch of information to kind of determine like where you went to school, what degrees you have, all of that to determine, okay, if he was still alive, what would he be making from the time that he was pow pow to his time of unaliving. And then after that, if he was still alive, what would he have made or make if he was still alive. And then you took away everything, his enjoyment of life. So that could be anything, having a girlfriend, kicking it, going playing recreational things. All of those, anything that you enjoy in life, they considered. And so these experts will put it into a report, and that report is submitted to the court. And so that's how they come up with that amount. Now we have to the parents because they lost the child. So claims of Allison and Bertram's John. So the value of the loss of companionship in society sustained from September 6, 2018, so that's the day that it happened, until today, $500,000 to Allison. The value of loss of companionship in society that in a reasonable probability will be sustained from today forward to Allison, $2 million. The value of mental anguish sustained from September 6, 2018 to today to Allison, $6 million. The value of mental anguish that in reasonable probability will be sustained from today forward to Allison John, $5.7 million. The value of loss of companionship and society sustained from September 6, 2018 to today, 500,000 to Bertram John. The value of loss of companionship in society that in reasonable probability will be sustained from today forward to Bertram John, $2 million. The value of mental anguish sustained from September 6, 2018 to today to Bertram John, $6 million. And the value of mental anguish that in reasonable probability will be sustained from today forward to Bertram John, 5.7 million. And that's it as far as what the parents was awarded. Punitive damages. Did plaintiffs prove by clear and convincing evidence? That's what the preponderance is. You have to prove by clear and convincing evidence that defendant Amber Geiger acted with malice, willfulness, or callous and reckless indifference to Botham Jean's safety or rights. They checked yes. Question 5, punitive damages. What amount of punitive damages, if any, should be imposed against defendant Amber Geiger? $60 million. We was not playing. We was fighting for justice. And I am so grateful that this outcome. So in all, that's approximately 100 mil. That is 100 mil. And I am so happy that the family got this one in court. They got it in criminal court and they got the win in civil court. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. Have y'all ever heard of this story before? I know if you're not in Texas or Dallas, you probably haven't heard about it, but it was national news what happened. And the residents of the city of Dallas and the surrounding areas are very joyful for this win. So, y'all tell me what y'all think about this in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, be blessed, and I'm out. Bye.